Hello, I'm Tammy Kaiser, and I'm here with another book review for you. And the name of this book is called Building the Benedict Option. Now, perhaps you've heard of the Benedict Option before. That is, it's a popular book movement that started maybe a year or two ago. And it's based on the idea that the culture's in really bad shape, and the only way to save it is to do kind of like what St. Benedict did. And he had his monastery, his monks, preserve the Christian culture while the rest of society was sort of going to pot. And so the Benedict option is for us as Christians to maybe do what we can to preserve our Christian culture. Now, it's kind of controversial. There's good, there's bad, there's all kinds of reviews on that. And I don't even know how I stand on that. You know, I hear parts of them like, yeah, that's a good idea. Like other parts, I'm like, that just does not seem right, especially when it's so critical of the fault, that's within our church. But what I do agree with is this book called Building the Benedict Option. And I just really love this approach to, what we as Christians can do to preserve our culture. Now, just to give you a summary of kind of what the whole book is about is an example of what she gives in the book. And she says that the Office of Strategic Services, and so this is the group that is encouraging the resistance to countries who have Nazis in them, suggests that people, instead of learning how to build bombs and stuff like that, they say that they need to do little things to irritate or to frustrate the Nazis. Like, for instance, if you've got a machine, you put a cog in the machine. Even something as simple as clogging a toilet. All these little acts that we do are forms of resistance, and were made to fight the Nazis. So I just love that illustration. So it made me sort of feel like, I can do little things too. And if we all come together and do these sort of little acts of, building the kingdom, then then we can fight the whoever the enemy, who of course is Satan. And so this book is about mostly hospitality things, gathering Christians together and discussing the faith, building up one another in the faith. And this Leah Libresco says that's the solution that we need. And it can be something as simple as having cookies and having people over for a Bible study. And so this book shares her experience of trying to do that in her home. It's just very down to earth, very practical. That is one thing I really liked about the book, is that it made me feel like, yeah, this is something that I can do. I don't feel like I have to do something big and great, start a huge movement. But instead, I can just start here in my community, in my neighbor, have some people over. And she shows you how you can sort of go beyond just having people over to talk about the weather or the newest movie, but to sort of take that to a deeper level, to become natural with praying together. And she, says these are the kind of movements that will build this Benedict option, that will preserve the culture, our Christian Catholic culture. So I recommend Building the Benedict Option. If you haven't read the Benedict Option, that's fine. Start with this one, and this will give you some real practical hands-on things that we can do, starting today.